subtle system, and using the sorry, I have a cough this morning because I took some lemon juice earlier and it's irritated my throat a little bit, so I apologize. Lemon juice, and very cleansing for the liver, but it's a little hard on the bashuti sometimes, on the throat. So yeah, just to review, using the elements, and this is something we like to do daily with the foot soaking, using the element of the water, and the salt represents the earth element and is especially helpful for clearing the lower energy centers, the chakras. Hopefully everyone is familiar with the term chakra by now. I am using that. The other term that we use is the energy centers, which correspond with the this nerve plexuses within our spinal cord. So, but I hope if anyone has any questions, you let me know, or any comments of any kind, because that really helps me figure out what to talk about. I'll let you know, again, my name is Christine, and I'm from the Boston area in the United States. And I've been meditating since quite a long time, actually. I've been doing Sahaja Yoga since my 20s. I'll just let you guess how long that's been. And have had some beautiful direct experiences of meeting Shrimataji and being in her company. It's fortunately, we have so many recorded talks and videos, and we will be taking advantage of a video today also to talk about our topic for the day, which is the central channel, which is so important. It's hugely important. I'll get into that a little bit more in a little more detail. We were fortunate enough back in 1981 and also 1983 to have Shrimataji come to the Boston area and give public programs here. Especially in 1983, we had 3 public programs here. And we had quite a lot of people, especially attending in 1983. We were in the sanctuary of a big church and had lots of seekers come and get their self-realization, and Shrimataji giving beautiful explanations and descriptions. And the advantage of that, having the 3 programs like that, is that people were able to sort of return a few times and really sort of establish their experience of self-realization. And we do have some videos of some of these programs that took place in Boston, and I'm just going back and sort of remembering what that was like. It's a very, I would say it's a powerful experience, but that doesn't mean that we're not having powerful experiences even now, because there's many more people that are practicing Sahaja Yoga now than there were. My doggy has decided to come and visit us. And that collective experience is really also very, very important and very helps you to establish your experience. And in fact, I just attended, back over Labor Day weekend, I attended a big seminar in upstate New York in the United States, which was focused on the qualities of this center, as it so happens, which this center, this chakra, the Vishuddhi, has a correspondence with the qualities of our country, of the country of America, South America, North America as well. So we were sort of celebrating the qualities of that center in this big seminar where we had 800 people. And I can tell you that the experiences, the meditation experiences are so deep when you're in that setting, in that situation where a lot of people meditating together, And there was a moment at the end of one of the celebrations, one of the events of that weekend, 800 people in a big, big hangar and meditating, and it was pin drop silent. And I remember thinking at that moment, how many places can you find that large number of people? Everyone absolutely still, not even a baby was crying, and everyone meditating together, complete silence. So that collective experience, which is what we're also doing together through Zoom, thank God for the internet has given us this whole other dimension where we can join each other from all different locations and all different countries and have that collective experience, that collective meditation experience. So we have that advantage now in the 2020s that we have many people, and I see a lot more people have joined, and welcome to everybody who's just joined. I just would again like to invite anyone who has any questions or comments about what they've been experiencing to go ahead and unmute and let me know. And it's a nice way for me to figure out what people would like to hear, what I could talk about. I think we're here. I apologize in advance. We do have some workmen here at our house, so we might have a little bit of background noise, but hopefully it won't last for very long. So for those of you who are just joining, we are going to do the foot soak technique. So if you haven't had a chance to prepare your equipment, if you like to call it, for foot soaking, if you are new to this breakout room for foot soaking and you don't have the equipment, the foot soak bowl and the salt and everything handy and ready to go, no worries. You can just follow along the meditation in any case without the foot soak, but maybe for next time.
We have few participants who are joining first time this food soak. So it would be better if we can show them the how to raise Kundalini and take Bandhan also
Okay.
along with food soak.
Okay. Are we ready to start? I guess we have maybe 2 more minutes for people to join. So maybe I'll just give it 2 more minutes and then we'll go through all of that as well. Again, just to review the foot soaking technique, we are using the elements of the earth and the water. So the natural elements have a very cleansing effect. Anyone who's ever been to the ocean or, what they now call forest bathing, or just a chance to get out in nature, a chance to maybe just sit on the earth, any of these things, if you combine them with the meditation, they have this extra efficacy. They have an extra element where it can be very, very cleansing. But many times, at the end of a long workday, we may not have a chance to get to an ocean or to a lake or something. Very few of us, I think, have that ready to go, set up. So this is a way of creating an ocean, okay? Our own private ocean. We put our feet into the bucket of water with the salt. You have the earth element and the water element combined. And this allows, again, combined with the vibrations, combined with the meditation, allows all of accumulated byproducts, you could say, of our left side activity, our right side activity, stress or lethargy or any of the baggage that we might have built up from, which is normal, very normal. The same way we have to cleanse our bodies or brush our teeth, we're also doing the same kind of cleansing for our subtle system. So that's the purpose of foot soaking. And I think we're ready to start now. In terms of time, hopefully everyone has joined. I'll just take one more moment that if anyone has any questions whatsoever, please feel free to unmute and let me know. So we are going to go over the technique of raising our Kundalini and putting a band on. So raising the Kundalini is a gesture that we use to activate our inner energy, our inner Kundalini energy, and bring it up to the top. So what we're going to do, I'm showing you up here, but we're actually going to start at the base, at the base of our torso. But the left hand moves still like that, and the right hand wraps around the left hand. And we'd raise both the two hands together up to the top of our head, above our head. And then we tie a symbolic knot. And then we do that 2 more times. And while we do this, we're sort of bringing our attention inside onto our central channel in the vicinity of the spinal cord. Raise again, and the third time we like to tie 3 knots above our head. So you can think of the Kundalini energy as being like a thread, and we're sort of wrapping and using a spiral movement, if you like. I'm doing it one more time just to demonstrate, and we're going to fix that energy above our head. Now the bandhan means a protection or a bond of love. So we use our right hand, left hand stays open on our lap, and the right hand wraps around in sort of an arc around our system, all the way from the left side of the hip, all the way to the right hip, so that we're covering all of our centers and back. And we do that about 7 times. And what this does is it sort of creates, if you like, a sacred space within which we can meditate undisturbed. We also think of it as sort of a protection. So that we're just dealing with what we have to deal with, and nothing from the outside is going to interfere while we meditate. So now we're going to do the foot soak. So I do like to raise my Kundalini and do the foot soak, do the bandhan before I foot soak. I like to sort of get the vibrations moving. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take some of these vibrations, which some of you hopefully have been feeling on your hands, or maybe above your head. You've been feeling a cool or a warm breeze above your head. We're going to take these vibrations with our right hand, and we're going to use a circular motion towards the water. And we're putting some of these vibrations into the water. We just sort of use a spiral movement like that. And while we do that, we can just inwardly ask that may this water, this foot soak water of salt, become energized and vibrated and effective for cleansing our subtle system. So we're using our attention and our intention to vibrate and activate the water for cleansing purposes. And then we can go ahead and put our feet into the water. And now we can go into meditation. You can keep your eyes closed if you like, or if you have some candle flame in front of you. Some people like to set up a candle when they meditate. You can gaze at the candle. Or we also use the photograph of Shri Mataji, which has this energy flowing. If you happen to have that set up before, you can also gaze in a relaxed way at the photograph. But mostly what we want to do is bring our attention inside onto our central channel, which is central channel is actually the topic of today's meditation. And to begin with, we're going to go through a method we have of cleansing. First, the left side channel. So the left side channel runs along the left side of the body and crosses at the level of our eyebrows and ends on the right-hand side of our head. And to facilitate the cleansing of the left side, what we do is we take our right hand and point it towards the earth. The left hand stays open on our lap to receive the vibrations, to receive the energy. And we're sort of grounding ourselves with our right hand. So anything interference on the left-hand side or baggage or heaviness of our left side activity, that's the channel of our desire and our emotions, we're going to release that into the earth. And inwardly, we can just ask the Mother Earth, please cleanse all heaviness or lethargy or baggage from the left side emotional channel. Please may that be cleansed out into the Mother Earth. And we can just sit quietly that way for a couple of minutes. Now let's bring our right hand back onto our lap. And this time we're going to cleanse our right side channel. So the right side channel runs up the right side of the body, crosses at the eyebrows, and ends at the left side of our head. And when we're overactive, this is the side of our action, our activity, our mental activity and physical activity. When we a little bit overuse the right side, we generate excess heat. So what we want to do is create a chimney, if you like, with our left hand, fingers pointing towards the sky and palm facing backwards. And inwardly we can ask, may this right side channel be cleansed of any excess of heat or stress, effortfulness, any feelings of pressure, or you could say inflammation on the physical level. May all such byproducts be cleansed into the air element and be released into the air element. And we can sit quietly for a couple of moments. And then we can bring our left hand back down if we're feeling like we should feel lighter on our hands, should feel lighter within ourselves. Because we've allowed some of this built up byproducts or impurities, if you like, interference on the left and right side to be released into the earth and into the air. And what I like to do is then to just take a simplified version of raising my Kundalini, because I've been putting my attention on the left side and the right side. Now I want to bring my attention back into the center. I just use one hand to just trace this path of Kundalini. And ask for that state of thoughtless awareness, of silence. And we can sit silently for another minute or two and just enjoy that state. If you like, you can also bring your attention just to the top of your head. If there's one place to gently focus your attention, in general, the best place is on the top of the head or the top of the brain, if you like. You can think of it that way. Okay, we can finish this part of our meditation now. What we're going to do is we're going to rinse our feet. Hopefully you have something to rinse your feet off. I'm going to rinse off the salt and the water off with fresh water into the bucket. And we'll take a few minutes, not very many minutes, just like 3 minutes to dispose of the water, the foot soap water, into the toilet. So again, we're sort of flushing down anything that may have been absorbed by the water into the, just flushing it down into to complete the process of cleansing. So let's do that now, and we'll reconvene in about 3 minutes. Welcome back, everybody. So I have to apologize again. We do have some workmen here at the house. I don't know if you can hear the noise, but I apologize. The timing is very good. I hope everyone can hear me all right in spite of the background noise. So our topic for today is the central channel. So we just spent a little bit of time working on cleansing our left side channel and our right side channel. The central channel is the channel of our evolution. So the left side can be said to be our desire. The right side is our action, which should work in tandem with each other, right? We desire and we act. We desire and we act. We shouldn't hopefully build up too many desires without fulfilling them. And our desires, of course, should be appropriate. And our action should be dynamic and auspicious and positive. When we get these two left and right side channels in balance, then the central channel can really open up. In the central channel, you can see that our energy centers are placed along this path, this central path. The Sanskrit word for this channel is the Shushumna. It's a beautiful word, so I just wanted to share it. So these energy centers, if they are in balance, and if the left and right side channel are in balance, then the central channel can really open up. And the more the central channel opens, the more strands of Kundalini can rise through our system. So I once saw Shimadaji demonstrate it like this. If you can think of, it might be backwards on the video, but this is the left side. This is the right side, and these are the centers. What you really want is for the centers to be that in balance, because then you create, in the middle, that's your central channel. That's this channel through which this Kundalini will flow. If we go to extremes on the left or the right side, you can see that we start to pull this out of alignment. And then this central channel becomes very small, or it might completely break altogether and create an actual obstacle in the path of Kundalini. So that's why we want to keep our left and right side activity in balance as much as possible, so that that creates the most clear channel for our Kundalini to rise through the center and to pierce through each one of these energy centers. By piercing through each one of these energy centers, it enlightens them, it nourishes them, it brings them more into balance, and we get into that state of complete integration. So that's the other way of describing the central channel of our evolution, is also the channel of our integration of the left and right hand side. We run into a little bit of a problem when we get up here. This is sometimes referred to, I mean, in scriptures, this was referred to as a narrow gate. And it is a narrow gate because it's a crossing of the left and right side. At that crossing, it's a little bit more potential for constriction, especially if we overuse our mental capacities, if we over-rely on our thinking and over-rely on our analytical brain. And if we can relax that, if we can relax at that level, and if these two structures, the blue and the yellow sort of balloons that we have here, are not overinflated, then the Kundalini reaches this point and it really takes us into that silent state. It takes us into that state of thoughtless awareness that we're going for, that gives us the most relief and gives us the most state of peace and again, a state of integration, where we're not just relying only on our limited human capacities, which maybe you've heard someone once describe, that if we go into worry, in the state of worrying about something, we're not affecting anything. We're not achieving anything by worrying. All we're doing is we're just generating a lot of extra, so what they call circular thinking. And if we can let that go, then let some of that unnecessary thought and unnecessary mental activity, can really release that, then that helps us to stay in this state of balance and state of mental balance. And the beauty of it is that the movement of the Kundalini helps this process along tremendously. And as we're going to hear when we listen to the talk that Srimataji talks about and brings her some other vocabulary onto this subject in the video that we're about to listen to. She's going to enlighten us much, much more and give us another way of looking at our central channel. But as she mentions in that, that's really the number one way to achieve this is just through our meditation practice. So what we want to do now is, as we listen to the video and as we listen to this information, that we try to stay in a state of meditation, so that maybe we may hear a term that we're unfamiliar with, or there may be some vocabulary we're unfamiliar with. It just don't worry about that for now. What we want to do is try to receive whatever we're meant to imbibe from the video in a thoughtless state as much as possible. In other words, in a non-reactive state. So we have a tendency when we hear something unfamiliar, or if we hear something that maybe, doesn't resonate or whatever, we go into a state of reaction with that. So as much as possible, we want to sort of try to stay out of a state of reaction and just absorb the meaning and really absorb the vibrations of the talk of Srimataji in this video. So we can go ahead and start the video.
And the moon is the left side. On the Sahaja Yoga style, the sun line is the right side and the moon is the left side. On the moon line, one can desire but cannot act. Apart from that, on the moon line, if you go too far, it can be destructive. Because if you sit in the house doing nothing, and also these days there's unemployment, say for example, no work, then you start thinking too much. And this thinking is just a desire, energy working out, no action. And without the action, this energy can become very destructive. That is why we find that people, they say that empty mind or is the devil's workshop, where people do not act. When the action doesn't take place, then it can be quite destructive. So the balance has to be struck. And the balance is that we should desire and act. So a balance has to be struck where you have the Sushumna working out. Now the Sushumna Nadi is the one where one would say is the equator. Is not equator, but is the axis of the Mother Earth. The axis of the Mother Earth is the Sushumna, and that has to act. And when it comes to that axis, it is the one that balances. In the same way, in human beings, the axis is the most important. That's the main principle of life we have got, is our axis. We have to stand on our axis. Those who do not stand on their axis, stand more towards the left or towards the life, are capable of complete destruction. Because either they will be destroyed by too much of right side or too much of left side. So our axis has to be properly dealt with. Now those people who do not have a proper axis can have problems of different chakras, of different kind of quality in a person. A person who stretches his axis too much, puts back his head like this, is a person who is very right-sided and creates problem with his ego. And the one who absolutely bends down, like a slavish person, also is a person who goes towards his destructiveness. Now there's a big problem between these two types of people, one trying to dominate another, and when they start dominating another person, they actually destroy themselves as well as destroy the ones whom they are dominating. One has to understand that what is the best within a human being is his axis. And everybody has an axis, and one must respect the axis of every person. In Sahaja Yoga, I don't know you by your faces so much. I know you by your chakras, by your sushumna, what sort of a sushumna you have. If you have a deep sushumna, I know you as a deep person. If you have a superficial sushumna, I know you as a person with a very superficial type of a sushumna. And even if you make up something by sort of being very nice or good or talking about Sahaja Yoga or knowing too much about Sahaja Yoga and saying things which will baffle normally anyone as if you are masters of Sahaja Yoga, I know how deep you are. So the depth on the axis is more important than anything else. Your axis has to be very deep. Now you will say that, Mother, the axis is the same as it is. So how can it be deep? So in the axis, as you see, is made in human beings, is like a 3.5 coiled paper-like thing. And the inside of it is the Brahmanadi. The Brahmanadi is a very, very small little, we can call a very, very hair-like thing, where only a hair-like Kundalini can pass through. But when the person is deep, this Brahmanadi is bigger, and all the rest of them, which are coiled into each other, are smaller. While the people who are not deep, their outside, what you call the foldings, are bigger than the inside small thing. Now such people could be apparently very dynamic, may look very intelligent, may look very smart, may look to be very good looking, or whatever it may be, outwardly. But inwardly they are not deep. Inwardly, if they are deep, their whole attitude is beautiful. They are very joy-giving people. They are very joy-giving. And the more, if you meet a person of another kind, he may look joyous, he may try to give you joy, but the joy won't be really that deep. It would be like a joy killing. So it is important for us to make our axis deeper. And that is where we lack the proper assiduity, the proper effort we have to put in. Now some people have automatically very deep axis. And some people have very, very, what should you say, a very constricted type of the axis. This axis has to be grown. Now when you come for my puja and all that, I do expand it, I agree. But it is a temporary thing. To retain it at that point, one has to work at home, in the collective also. One has to work very much at home with meditation. But it should be done seriously. It should not be just a joke, to be frivolous, to be stupid. That's not the way. It should be done very seriously in the meaning that it is a devoted task you have taken. It's a meditative thing. It's a prayer to God. We can call it, it's a puja to God. Is to be done with that reverence, because reverence is the key of achievement. If you have no reverence about yourself and no reverence of others, then it cannot be done. But first you must have reverence for your own life. What am I doing with my life? Where am I wasting it? Why should I waste it? Why should I be deep? After all, there must be some purpose of my life. Am I serving my purpose? Am I doing that? All these things, if they pop into your head, then you will understand it's very easy to fight out your ego. Because normally on small, small things people fight. I've seen that in Sahaja Yoga also, people fight on things like, it's so useless, absolutely useless. To me, it sounds stupid to even mention the way people fight over small things and quarrel. But a deep person, even if he doesn't speak much, even if he doesn't show off much, even if he doesn't sit in the front line, he expresses himself through his depth, because I can work out better through that. So to develop this, one must meditate. Important thing is to meditate every day, every day, every day. You may not eat your food one day, you may not sleep one day, you may not go to your office one day, you may not do anything that you are doing every day, but you must meditate every day. That's an important point to develop the central constricted part into a bigger area. Now, when that happens, that you start developing it, the first thing you will notice about yourself, that you do not care for any comfort. You're not bothered about any material thing. Whatever it is, you are above it. You just don't bother your head. Let it be. You just don't want to put your neck into a thing where you do not belong. You just get out of it, and you think that, oh God, this is too much for me. I just don't care for it. So your whole attention now moves inward. When the attention starts moving inward, then it expands more. This is the inner part, which is called as the Brahmanadi, and starts expanding and expanding. This widening comforts you. That's the comforting thing. And that really makes you feel so comfortable in any circumstance, in any position, in any lifestyle. And you do not want to have any other comfort. And this one has to develop through meditative effort. This balance comes through our depth, and that depth has to be improved. Not through just by talking about it, by talking about Sahaja Yoga, but actually seriously doing meditation, actually seriously doing meditation.
And now let's take ourselves into a meditation again. With all this explanation and focus on our central channels should really be helpful for us to bring our attention onto our own Sushumna, our own central channel. Now that we understand how tremendously important, but also delicate, this channel is. One way we can bring our attention onto a Sushumna is to step our way up, chakra by chakra, acknowledging the pure qualities of each energy center. So let's start by putting our attention at the base of our spine on the first energy center, which is the center of our innocence and wisdom. And we can ask this energy our Kundalini energy, that Mother Kundalini, please make me completely innocent. And stepping up to the next energy center, in the lower part of our abdomen, which is the center of our creativity and our pure attention and our pure knowledge. Mother Kundalini, please give me the pure knowledge and the pure attention. The next center, stepping up to the solar plexus, our upper part of our abdomen, is the center of our peace, satisfaction, and contentment. Mother Kundalini, please make me completely peaceful and satisfied. The next position is at the level of our heart, which is the center of our security and our confidence and our courage. So Mother Kundalini, please make me completely confident and courageous. The next level is at the throat, the thyroid plexus, which is the center of our communication and our collectivity, our sense of community and brotherhood. And we can ask Mother Kundalini, please make me a part and parcel of the whole. And next we come to our third eye center in the middle of the forehead, which is the center of forgiveness, primarily of forgiveness, the power of forgiveness, where we forgive even our own thoughts. And for this center, we can just say, Mother Kundalini, I forgive everyone, including myself. And finally, we can bring our attention right to the top of our head. And for this, we can place our hand, the center of our palm, just a little bit towards the front of the top of our head, and massage in a clockwise circle while we say, Mother Kundalini, please establish and deepen my self-realization. Mother Kundalini, please establish and deepen my Shushumna Nadi and my self-realization. And then we can bring our hand just above our head, little ways, and bring our attention there as well. Feel for the flow of energy above our heads. We can do the same with our left side, left hand, feeling for the flow of energy above our heads. And then let's just stay in silence another couple of minutes with our attention above our heads. So let's finish our meditation the same way we started, by raising our Kundalini. Three times in total. And then putting the bandhan, this protection, so that we can stay in a state of meditation throughout our day. And I'd like to thank you all for joining us today with this lecture that Shimadaji gave. I just was thinking how, how wonderful it is that we all get together for this meditation in this way and support each other in this way. And it's really exactly what, it's exactly what we need to deepen that experience and to deepen and strengthen our own central channels. And we're doing it. That's what we're doing together, like in this way. And I feel just very fortunate that you all have joined for this today. It's a pleasure for me. And I hope, in spite of all the background noise, I hope everyone also enjoyed. And also, please, if you have any questions or comments about the meditation today, I'm here to talk, for as long as you need.
Christine, thank you so much. It was absolutely awesome.
Oh, you're welcome.
And it's great. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too, Mati. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Christine, and Rahul, and everyone. God bless.
Thank you, Christine and Rahul.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I see Jenna here. Thank you, Jenna, for joining. Your video was on and you're very meditative the whole time, and it was really inspiring for me.
Thank you. And the background noise was not disturbing at all, at least on my end.
I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe the timing couldn't have been worse. And they're power washing our house. I didn't know they were going to do that on a Sunday, so I'm glad it wasn't too disturbing.
No, it wasn't. Thank you, and we'll see you next week or next time that you're here.
Yes, thank you. Hi, Jamie. Thank you for joining today.
Hi, thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thank you very much, Rahul. Thank you, Christine. It was wonderful. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you. A pleasure. Thank you very much for joining. Practical tip of the week. Managing attention. I'm not sure if you want me to say anything about these, Rahul, but it looks like everybody's pretty much signing off anyway. So